Okay, I'm gonna ask for help again. I need your help in boxing or reboxing. I think, don't quote me on this, I think biographies maybe? Some nonfiction. It's an eclectic bunch. This is what came in the box today, so I thought we'd go through them quickly together. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina K-R-S-T-I-N-A. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy stuff going on here. And, yes, ma'am. I've got a pal here with me. Let's see. 10 years, 2 presidential campaigns, and 1 intact glass ceiling. Chasing Hillary. Sorry. Let's see. For nearly a decade, award-winning New York journalist Amy Chozick chronicled Hillary Clinton's pursuit of the presidency, Kojak's assignment covering Clinton's imploding 2008 campaign, and then her front-row seat to the 2006 election, The Hillary on the Beat. Set off years-long journey in which the informative Kozak 20s and 30s became personally and professionally intricately intertwined with Clinton's presidential ambition. Book 1. Oh, I want to make a list. I have no idea. I haven't been through these books before. So, and if I want to make a list for the description. The Amateur, Barack Obama in the White House, Edward Klein. Let's see. In the stunning expose, best-selling author Edward Klein, a contributing editor to Vanity Fair, former foreign editor of Newsweek, and former editor-in-chief of the New York Times, pulls back the curtain on one of the most secretive White Houses in history. Handcrafted, a woodworker story, Clint Harp. While Clint Harp is now known as Chip and Joanna Gaines' go-to table maker on Fixer Upper and a nationally acclaimed artisan, his life has not always been the DIY dream we see on the show. 10 years ago, he played the role of what he thought was a good husband, father, and provider, dutifully working at a sales job that came with a healthy paycheck. Yet he kept coming back to his dream of building furniture. Golden. When it comes to Stephen Curry, point guard for the Golden State Warriors and reigning 2-time NBA MVP, fans, coaches, experts, and analysts have been blown away by his takeover of the league. Killing Lincoln, Bill O'Reilly. The anchor of the O'Reilly Factor recounts one of the most dramatic stories in American history, how one gunshot changed the country forever. In the spring of 1865, the bloody saga of America's Civil War finally comes to an end after a series of increasingly harrowing battles. President Abraham Lincoln's generous terms for Robert E. Lee's surrender are devised to fulfill Lincoln's dream of healing a divided nation, with the former Confederates allowed to reintegrate into American society, but one man and his band of murderous accomplices, perhaps reaching into the highest ranks of the U.S. government, are not appeased. Here comes John Wilkes Booth. Bill O'Reilly, a fresh piece of humanity. One day in 1957, in the 3rd grade classroom at St. Bridget's Parochial School, an exasperated sister, Mary Laura, bent over a restless young William O'Reilly and said, "William, you are a bold, fresh piece of humanity." Little did she know that she was, early in his career as a troublemaker, defining the answers of Bill O'Reilly and providing him with the title of this brash and entertaining issued memoir. Talking to Robots, Tales from Our Human-Robot Futures. Oh, okay. Award-winning journalist David Ewing Duncan considers 24 visions of possible human robots, incredible scenarios that ponder the impact and existence of new AI, from teddy bear bots to warrior bots, politician bots to sex bots. We'll see. Beyond the Pale, Emery Urquhart. Like any new mother, Emily is thrilled when her first child, a daughter, is born. The baby Sadie is healthy and stunning, beautiful, snow-white hair and fair skin. Even the doctors and nurses can't help take a second look at this magical child. But soon a darker current begins to emerge. Something is amiss. After 3 months of testing, Sadie is diagnosed with albinism, a rare genetic condition. Still dreaming. My journey from the barrio to Capitol Hill. Beloved by the immigrants and working people whose rights he has championed, 11-term Congressman Luis Gutierrez is one of the most influential figures in America, where he recounts his life between two worlds, Puerto Rican and America, where he was born but was told to go back to where you came from, to America in Puerto Rico, where he was ridiculed as a gringo who couldn't speak Spanish. Oh, I need to just put these here for a minute. Now I see you. Nicole C. KEAR is 19 years old when she gets a life-changing diagnosis. She's going blind, courtesy of an eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa, and she has a decade or so before the lights go out. To cope, Carol hides her vision loss and focuses on living like there's no tomorrow, tearing through boyfriends, joining circus school, and traveling the world. But when she falls in love and gets pregnant just a few years shy of her vision expiration date, she gives up the recklessness in favor of relishing time with her children. Gretchen Carlson, Getting Real. As the host of Real Story with Gretchen Carlson on Fox News Channel, Carlson is in her homes 5 days a week and is at the heart of American life. Over her 25 years as award-winning journalist and commentator, she has earned a reputation for speaking her mind, whether the topic is public policy, religion, or personal choices. Now, in Getting Real, Carlson speaks out about what it means to be a high-powered career woman in America today. Jetta Benjamin, Dangerous TRAUB. J.P. Benjamin was a brilliant and successful lawyer in New Orleans and one of the first Jewish members of the U.S. Senate. Then he served in the Confederacy as a Secretary of War and Secretary of State, becoming confident and alter ego of Jefferson Davis. In this new biography, author James Traub grapples with the different cult that Benjamin, who was considered one of the greatest legal minds in the United States, was a slave owner who deployed his oracle skills in defense of slavery. The Farmer's Son. Calving Season on a Family Farm, John Connell. Farming has been in John Connell's family for generations, but he never intended to follow in his father's footsteps. Until one winter, after more than a decade away, he finds himself back on the farm. Connell records the hypnotic rhythm of the farming day, cleaning the barns, caring for the herd, tending to the sickly lambs, helping the cows give birth. Alongside the events, there are unforeseen moments when things go wrong. A calf fails to thrive, a sheep goes missing, illness breaks out, arguments between father and son erupt, and things that cannot go unsaid. 3 Mile Island. The hour-by-hour account of what really happened. 3 Mile Island. Mark Steffens, a staff member of the Presidential Commission that investigated the accident, answers for the first time our real questions about what really happened, how much of the truth we were actually told, and how close 3 Mile Island came to becoming the ultimate nuclear catastrophe. His meticulous research, chilling account of the worst nuclear disaster in U.S. history is vividly seen through the lives of the people who were there. How's it going there, Smoke? Oh, good Lord. I shouldn't have done this on the floor, but I couldn't figure out how else to do it. My whole house is books. Boxes. And boxes of books. Today's delivery was off the rails. So we're just gonna go through them. With this courting disaster, how CIA kept America safe, and how Barack Obama is inviting the next attack. Now Barack Obama wants to prosecute the men and women who kept us safe. Mark Thiessen knows more than almost anyone outside the CIA about what went on CIA black sites and the detention center at Guantanamo Bay. As chief speechwriter for President Bush, he was given unprecedented access to some of those most sensitive intelligence of a government possessed on al-Qaeda terrorists. He has since spent countless hours interviewing the men and women involved in interrogations at every level, from Vice President Dick Cheney to the interrogators themselves. What he reveals is shocking, thoroughly documented, of just how close we came to suffering follow on 9/11 attacks, how so-called enhanced interrogation techniques, including waterboarding, were directly responsible for unearthing actionable intelligence that foiled them. On the lighter side of things, the ultimate solution? Lies that Chelsea Handler told to me. It's no lie, Chelsea Handler loves to smoke out dumbasses, the condition people suffer from that allows them to fall prey to her kind of complete and utter nonsense. Family, friends, and coworkers have all been tricked by Chelsea into believing stories of total foolishness and in behaving like total fools. Luckily, they live to tell the tales and for the first time write about the humiliating experiences. What if you... Oh. Those have got to go away. Ah! Oh! Anderson Cooper! Though Anderson Cooper has always considered himself close to his mother, his intensely busy career as a journalist for CNN and CBS affords him little time to spend with her. After she suffers a brief but serious illness at 91, they resolve to change the relationship by beginning a year-long conversation unlike any they ever had before. The result is a correspondence of surprising honesty and depth in which they discuss their lives, the things that matter to them, and what they still want to learn about each other. Julian Bain Barnes, the man in the red coat. In the summer of 1885, three French men arrived in London for a few days' intellectual shopping, a prince, a count, and a commoner with an Italian name. Each time, each of these men would achieve a certain level of renown. But who were they then, and what's the significance of their sojourn into England? Answering these questions, Julian Barnes unfurls the stories of their lives which play out against the backdrop of the ballet in Paris. Our guide through the world is Samuel Pazzi, society doctor, freethinker, and a man of science with a famously complicated private life, who was the subject of one of John Singer Sargent's greatest portraits. Don't know. The World According to Fannie Davis, My Mother's Life in Detroit Numbers. In 1958, the same year that an unknown songwriter named Barry Gordy borrowed $800 to found Motown Records, a pretty young mother from Nashville borrowed $100 from her brother to run a numbers racket out of a tattered apartment on Delaware Street in one of Detroit's worst neighborhoods. That woman was Fannie Davis, Bridget M. Davis' mother. Part bookie, part banker, mother, wife, and granddaughter of slaves, Fannie became more than a numbers runner. She was a kind of Ulysses, guiding both her husband's 5 children, grandson through the decimation of a once proud city using her wit, style, guts, and even a gun. She ran her numbers enterprise for 34 years, doing what it took to survive in a legitimate business that just happened to be illegal. She created a loving, joyful home, sent her kids to the best schools, brought them the best clothes, mothered them to the higher standard, and when the tragedy of urban life stuck, soldiered on with her stated belief, dying is easy, living takes guts. Faith of my fathers, John McCain. John McCain is one of the most admired leaders in the United States government, but his deeply felt memoir of family and war is not a political one and ends before his election to Congress. With candor and ennobling McCain tells a story that, in the words of Newsweek, makes the presidential candidates look like pygmies. John McCain learned about life and honor from his grandfather and father, both four-star admirals in the U.S. Navy. This is a memoir about their lives, their heroism, and the ways that sons are shaped and enriched by their fathers. What happened? Hillary Clinton. For the first time, Hillary Rodham Clinton reveals what she was thinking and feeling during one of the most controversial and unpredictable presidential elections in history. Now free from the constraints of running, Hillary takes you inside the intense personal experience of becoming the first woman nominated for president by a major party in an election marked by rage, sexism, exhilarating highs, and infuriating lows. Oh, good God. Oh, good. Ouch. Ow. This one's interesting. Let's see. Oh, gotta take the. I didn't even think about this. Uh, Come on, get off. Alright. It's not coming off. We'll get back to it. The Impulse Society, Paul Roberts. Oh, the receipt for the book. Person paid $28 plus $1.68 in tax. And it came to $29.68, and they got $3. They paid $3.03, and they paid they got 35 cents in return. The members saved $2.80. It's something most of us have sensed for years, the rise of a world defined by only mine and now, a world where business shamelessly seeks the fastest reward, regardless of the long-term social consequences, where political leaders reflectively choose short-term fixes overboard substantial social progress, where individuals feel increasingly exploited by a marketplace obsessed with our private cravings, but oblivious to our spiritual well-being or the larger needs of family and communities. Okay. Iron John, a book about men. When Bill Moyer's PBS special on Robert Bly, A Gathering of Men, aired in the winter of 1990, it brought forth an unprecedented flood of calls and letters from both men and women attesting to the pain and confusion experienced by many contemporary men. Iron John is Robert Bly's long-awaited book on male initiation and the role of a mentor, the results of 10 years of work. Yay. It didn't look that way. Kate! The future queen! Kate Middleton is universally acknowledged as the brightest jewel in the British royal family, from her decade-long courtship with Prince William to their fairy-tale wedding and rejuvenations of the monarchy. Kate has enchanted the public and media alike, securing her place in history by giving birth to Prince George of Cambridge. Now, as her dreams of being a mother have come true, she and William face the challenge of bringing up their son under the watchful eyes of the world. There's more kids since this was written. Uh, The man who designed the future. Before there was Steve Jobs, there was Norman Bell Geddes, a flamboyant designer whose metric career would see him reimagining everything from Broadway sets and Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus to the controversial automobile, the Chrysler Airflow. His designs included the first all-weather stadium, the first floating airport, and the spectacular Futurama exhibit at the 1930 New York World's Fair, the most iconic fair exhibit of all time. Ah, Georgie Porgy! It's Georgie! Alright, we'll do this one first. The presidential diversions. Presidents at play from George Washington to George Bush. In between tense negotiations with heads of state, the rigors of campaign trail, and haggling with Congress, can a president ever have any fun? In the thumbnail portraits of 43 presidents, he chronicles their unexpected, revealing tastes at games, sports, and cultural activities. George Washington had a passion for dancing, and John Quincy skinny dipped in the Potomac. Governor Grover Cleveland loved beer gardens, and Woodrow Wilson was a failed novelist. Warren Harding wrote love poems, and Franklin Roosevelt was an avid collector of stamps. Jimmy Carter was a surprisingly skilled diver, and Bush Sr. loved to parachute. And our final book is Georgie Porgy, General George Washington, A Military Life. Much has been written in the past 2 centuries about George Washington, the statesman and father of this country. Less often discussed is Washington's military career, including his exploits as a young officer and his performance as a Revolutionary War Commander-in-Chief. Now, in the revealing work of historical biography, Edward G. Lengel has written the definitive account of George Washington the soldier. Based largely on Washington's personal papers, this engrossing book paints a vivid, factual portrait of a man to whom lore and legends so tenaciously cling to. Lengel. Washington was the imperfect commander. Washington possesses no great tactical ingenuity, and his acknowledged business in retreat only demonstrates the role luck plays in the fortunes of all great men. And there you go, General George Washington. And our box is now empty. And now I can write down all the titles and put them in the description as the video loads for the next 20 or 30 hours. I'm serious. Some of these take up to 15 or 16 hours. Or sometimes 2 days, depending on what happens. So, what do you think? I have some more boxes to unbox. I better get to it. Stay tuned next week. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. And thank you to all my subscribers. And if you spread the word, let people know I exist. I want people to know I exist. Okay? Hit the like and subscribe. Always hit the thumbs up. Let me know I'm doing a good job. Only good thoughts, please. Have a good one.